Hey, I'm Caleb Denison with Digital Trends, and today we're going to take a close look at the Panasonic HTB350 2.1 home theater system. This is an interesting single box solution from Panasonic. What you see here is a set-top box, two individual speakers that can also be joined together as a sound bar, and then a wireless subwoofer. Now, this isn't the first system of its type that we've seen. Samsung also makes a version, but this is definitely the least expensive version. So let's take a look at what it can do. Okay, so let's start with what I think is the most interesting part, and that is these main speakers. Here you can see we have them set up as vertical stereo speakers on stands. You can also just wall mount them on either side of the wall-mounted TV if you want. Or, if you would rather a slightly lower profile look, you can conjoin the two speakers at the center like this, and again, place it on a tabletop or mount it below your TV. The speakers take care of most of the mid-range and treble frequencies, while this wireless subwoofer takes care of the low end. It's a tall, slender sub, and it doesn't look half bad. The sub is ported with a down-firing 6.5-inch woofer, and the finish is glossy black plastic, just like the rest of the system. Now we come to the set-top box, and you know, these days having a separate box is sort of unconventional. Most of the time, the inputs and the amplifier are built right into the soundbar, but with this system, the inputs and the amp are in this little box. The upside is more inputs. The downside is that you have to run speaker wire to the speakers or soundbar. Speaking of those wires, here they are. They're white, presumably to blend in with a white wall, but as we all know, there are several different shades of white, and not all walls are white anyway. And we really don't like these proprietary plastic connectors. If one breaks or the wire pulls out, there's no way to connect the speakers. I think little spring-loaded clips would have been a better idea here. If we take a look at the back of the box, we can see there are two optical inputs and then the single stereo analog input. The system also has a Bluetooth wireless receiver in it, so you can beam sound directly at it with your mobile device. Now check out the remote. You can see here it offers the basic functionality as well as adjustments for a dialogue enhancer feature and the subwoofer level. You also use the remote to get the box into Bluetooth pairing mode. As for performance, we can say the system does get very loud. I mean, it's a tremendous improvement on your TV's built-in speakers, and at around $250, it does earn its keep. That said, it is not a stellar sounding system. Bass is almost always overwhelming. We turned the sub all the way down and still had to deal with this persistent thump that we found really annoying. High frequencies are okay, but sibilants like S and T sounds seemed a little soft when we were watching movies and TV shows. And that said, the dialogue enhancement feature worked well for improving the voice clarity for TV and movies. But the system was a lot less enjoyable for music because the mid-range seemed really recessed. You might think that when voices lack presence, you could turn up the dialogue enhancement, but unfortunately, that is too narrow of an adjustment, and it just made the whole thing sound honky. Our final complaint is that we did not have a good experience with Bluetooth streaming at all. Pairing up was easy enough, but the sound quality in the high frequencies sounded really distorted at all times. The Bluetooth feature might seem attractive, but at this low quality profile, we'd never use it for sounding the way it does. At the end of the day, the Panasonic HTB350 delivers much louder, explosive sound than any built-in TV speaker could ever hope to. It's a flexible system with several speaker setup options, and having a wireless sub is convenient. However, that adage that you get what you pay for definitely plays out here. The system is plasticky and the sound lackluster in most cases. We also think the sub needs to be toned down quite a bit. Our score for this system came out to be a solid 6.